Testing 1, 2. How's everybody tonight? That is a tepid response. Holy cow. So I'm Tony Placido, and I'm the usual host and curator, but not tonight. Tonight, for Poets and Pints number 101. That's right. We just had our 100th show last month. If you missed it, it will be on the internet. It's not there yet because we had it professionally filmed and they're doing the editing and all that jazz. So I will definitely let everybody know when it's available because it was an awesome show. Just to let you know, we're part of Cracked Walnut in the League of Minnesota Poets. And right now, Cracked Walnut is running its 2023 Cracked Walnut Literary Festival, which means there's a number of events all month long. This is one of them. It's not every night, but almost every night. And so go to our website, crackedwalnut.com, and check out the Literary Festival calendar. Go see some other poetry and some other events. There's a ton of stuff going on, and it's all free or pay what you can. So it's great. So I'm not going to talk much more because I don't have to work tonight. Tonight, I'm going to bring up to the stage your wonderful host, your immensely talented and gracious person for putting up with all the curation stuff that happens. Please put your hands together for Dralandra Larkins.
Hey, y'all. I'm so happy to be here with y'all tonight. This is my first curated show, and so I want to thank Tony. So I want to thank Tony so much for giving me the opportunity and the platform to share work with local poets. So our first poet here is Davi Gray. He is a poet and writer and storyteller living in North Minneapolis. They are queer, trans, and non-binary, and they have been writing poems that were rejected for publication since they were 9 years old. However, Davi has been published under their dead name in Poetry Magazine, the Comstock Review, the Blue Collar Review, and elsewhere, and has won poetry prizes in fiction, nonfiction, and PEN America Prison Writing Contest. Please welcome Davi, and please clap him all the way up to the stage.
Thank you. Thanks, Dralandra. Davi Gray, pronouns are they and them. Before I forget, I want to encourage everyone to look at mnprisonwriting.org. They have information for the reading that is coming up next Saturday on the 28th. Student reading, and it's a lot of good stuff. So I have some poetry to read. Let me start my timer. Seek and ye shall find. I found out the way I find every revelation these days. Lost in questions and mysteries. Cat always being killed for thirst after answers. I must have 90 lives. Whole herd of felines yowling its way across shag carpets, leaping onto counters, knocking off a vase, fragile in coats of crazed, cracking glaze. All this just to say, I read it on the internet. My father died. Not the real source of my bloody river, headwaters of this my rock-broken flood of a life. He gave me half my dead name, left me one picture, 2 people standing in front of a house, small child, teddy bear, that stuffed, ragged brown thing with one glass eye, lost long ago like every memory of the man who must once have dreamed of legacy, of bloodline, of proud gathering up children in his arms before the shattering, before the war, before the wife, my mother, who would not keep her brilliant water dammed, spilled out across the lands in flood, poured me into life while he was gone. His obituary bore no trace of us, all washed away by new storms, whatever deluge he swam through for the rest of his castaway life. So sometimes people ask me what I write about, and I have trouble answering that question. And when I do answer it, I usually answer it differently every time because I write about a lot of stuff. This ain't that. A lust poem. It never is, never was. I wrote love in the book of my heart, carved it into desks and innocent trees, tried to translate languages I cannot speak. I beg you instead, lay me down a stage, boards gleaming in the dark, ready for the rattle and stomp of your feet. Oh, let them be boots or ballet slippers. Let them knock against me rhythms, only heard in dreams I sweat into darkness. Let me be the fever you starve, the cold you feed. I will shiver you with visions until your teeth clatter castanets. Will have you dripping salt and blood like the sea. Make me cathedral, a labor of centuries, gathered stone carved into shadows and song, groined vaults and choirs calling you to heaven. I can be anything, dance hall, disaster, or church in which you trade fistfuls of gold for salvation. Only invite me. I cannot linger long on this empty page. I live in North Minneapolis, which is an adventure sometimes. And I've written several poems. They all have the same title. This is one of them. Over North. Outside my window, maybe 40 steps away. Close enough I could have walked to it in one breath, held in anticipation. If I rose up and stepped up to the wooden ledge, through glass and screen into the day's heat, floated to earth like an angel or fallen leaf. A small shining car screeched through the turn onto my street, lost the thread, hit low concrete with a sound like soft metal crumpled in large fists. I leapt up, startled from clacking keyboard dreams, to see a cloud of black smoke at the front of the car, tiny orange flames beginning to dance like wicked secrets in the engine's heart. Driver's compartment entirely obscured by blown out airbags. The door moaned open. A person spilled forth, a flailing pile of limbs soon gathered into form of teenaged boy, probably, who ran a few steps, looked back, held long moments until a head bobbed up beyond the car, then sprinted down the sidewalk, chased by indeterminate companion, faces there, then gone, scrubbed away by knowing I could not or would not issue a report to the cops, well-meaning earnest killers they sometimes are, who serve as gateways to systems that heal nothing and no one. Someone somewhere surely mourned their Kia, its polished glitter in sunlight, smooth muttering of small motor as it carried them to and fro in the city. Some too large number of payments I now watched reach for the sky, and soft roaring flames as red engines pulled up. But no amount of vengeance will fix what is broken in this world. There is still a shadow on the concrete. I can see it now, wraith of memory burned into stone. But grass grows where the earth was scarred, where police gathered in a small murmuring knot, while I joyfully turned away. I read a lot about time and seasons. Every damn year's like a wheel. The city was hot. The city is cold. World so obvious, sometimes I sigh. I roll my eyes. Great job, nature. Hit the target once again. Hole in one, on the nose. Pinned safe Velcro tail on the velveteen jackass blown up to cover the whole wall. I get it. Time moves so fast. Yesterday, I felt the soft jersey gray of my t-shirt stick to my back. Sweat glittered on my forehead like salt from evaporated seas. Yet this morning the air is almost crackling. Some frog or insect sawing away in the dark in season's end desperation. Last call, last dance. And before breakfast, the street corners filled with ones, twos, handfuls, small crowds of children ready for first days. New clothes, crisp, colorful, stage closet thrown open, every outfit flung through the neighborhood. Backpacks bearing no burden yet, but packed lunch. Best sandwich all year, first day fresh, with anticipation and fear. I remember it like last week. But this morning, so unlike yesterday's sun-broiled summer barbecue weather, it feels like everything is almost over. I am dead, though my life's only just begun. I'm sure this will not apply to any of you fine people, but I have a lot of friends or acquaintances kind of outside the sphere of enjoying poetry. It's called the monster in the closet. There's this thing people do, a dance move of avoidance, ways to rearrange the intricate structure of sentences to dodge pronouns. They don't agree with my sense of myself, I guess. Don't want to cede control of thoughts and vocal cords to that dread tyrant, the transgender machine. Some 7-story robot ensconced at the heart of the world, pulling levers, pressing buttons, decreeing speech forms and usage, strapping on straitjackets like kindness and courtesy, respect for other human beings, and even allowing people to live in ways that let them live. Or maybe it's just plain fear that this is how it starts. First you say they, and next morning you wake up and your own sex reversed polarity. You have to wear ballet shoes, hard hats, and hoop skirts to work, marry the person you most hate, and sit on the porch drinking colorful cocktails with tiny umbrellas and chunks of tropical fruit and talking about poetry, for God's sake, while your children transform before your very eyes into creatures with their own minds and desires, slip out of your control and go on to live their own mysterious lives. I'm just going to read 2 more, one long one, one short one. Most of my poems are based on real life, true stories. Not all of them, but most of them. The lesson. Not yours, my stepdad said, grabbed my hand, pulled me against the sudden gravity of fear, falling toward glass doors, A tinkling silver bell announced our entry. Dread rose in pitch to unbearable until I stood before the man behind the counter, fronted by a choir of temptations in every color of false fruit, banana, bright blue raspberry, lush pink, whatever flavor chewing gum is, lollipops, saltwater taffy, butter rum lifesavers that could not save anyone. All of it eye level, yet achingly out of reach. I did not get an allowance, had to wait for teeth to pop loose, helped along by my Larson's candy habit. And weak enamel, one more note in the thick hymnal of sad tunes, handed down, sung to me from the womb. I stood before the clerk in his blinding white smock, and twisted beneath the heavy hand on my shoulder, and confessed sin in soft mumbles, every word mushed into one long, low-voiced verse, and over in a breath. I set on the gleaming laminate my heart, a pack of fruit-striped gum, waited, nerves humming high-pitched fear, so that I hardly heard him say, with a satisfied nod toward the man who swelled up slightly, pride perhaps at having led this small creature closer to some theoretical light, "Don't do it again." As if that worked. Somehow that single note in all the ruinous symphonies would suffice, and I was released. The weight lifted, and I ran to the car, and Jack followed me back, bells sprinkling silver like Rudolph's mythic collar, months away with the promise of something I could call my own, some gift paid for, like the gas that carried us on trips across the empty quarters of the Southwest, the crinkle-wrapped ham and cheese sandwiches steaming fresh from the microwave, the clunk-split 8-track songs of Creedence Clearwater Revival he bellowed along with, driving through burnt lands with a wallet full of plastic cards issued by fools, he called them, credit lines so high he would never have to pay it back. So this last one is a response to my feelings. I've been working on trying to submit manuscripts to publishers most of this year. And it gets expensive. And some places have allowances for that, and some places don't. So it kind of pisses me off. Literature is not a welfare state. Poetry, I swear, it's dancing on air, unloving hands of the rope on my neck. It's a list of all the reasons why I shouldn't kill myself, or why I should. The world needs my poems. I can take 3 dozen or so, print them out. Black tracks stagger across snow blank page like drunken crow. A single crow, murder of one, call it a suicide. Stapled together, toss off a bridge like a body given wings. I am free to submit manuscripts this way. Free.
Davi Gray, everyone. Thank you, Davi. Our next poet is Victoria Ruiz. She's a Minneapolis-based writer whose work has appeared in What Wrote These, Indolent Books, Online Journal, New York, Goshen Teeth, Anti-Heron Chick. The anthologies include When Women Speak, Flower-Shaped Bullet, Loud Coffee Press, A Shape Produced by Curd, Great Brother for Media in Common Unity, NYWC. Victoria is a TA for Buddy Wakefield's Writers Anonymous Workshop. She is a lover of all things music and enjoys dancing in the kitchen with speakers on full tilt while her dog Mojo watches in disdain. Welcome, Victoria.
much, Dralandra, for having me. Here we go. I'm so short. All right. I'll take it. Thank you. All right. Okay, good. My printer didn't work, so I am reading everything off my phone tonight. Wish me luck. I dream of beetles. Breaching a stomach. My grandmother wore her insides out, a new beast every season. I pawned the heirloom once worn like a life raft in Union, moved to Portland. I have yet to unpack these things. Instead, become a quiet thinning, something of a peach, a slice of Mexican dice, a velvet hanging from a rear view mirror, a paper doll with hands the shape of scissors clawing from inside an earth. Some nights, I hear the scratch of windows transomming, a staccato boat like a flood. It brings me back to the monogamous pitch of sorrow beneath the hunger of teeth, galloping away from the roof of a tongue whose skin becomes a carrion of bones. I was a kid when we drove 2 hours to see her spit the contents of a cancer back out. It took all I could do to move. I realize some things are now dead. I push the envelope back to sender, stuck like a soldier in a tin brass box, bleed the day of its paper cut, put my mouth to it, suck the wanting from the sting. I once held a note the size of a mountain. The fog of it caught me in the wake, pupil closer to a look, servant to peripheral edge, more eager than I've ever been. I could wick the pulp for its warmth, but I won't. A jackhammer wails to the sidewalk, some new beginning. All right, we'll do this one next. Now that I'm warmed up. I'm not. Okay. This one's called Blue Bloom. Today, I woke to 4 alarms, too stiff for the drive into the city. Tale of 2 buildings and separate hoaxes of elevators. I am nearly late on the 4th floor. A nurse comes hurried and calling my name. I am full of age and weary, full of years in a punk-haired body, taken for a fool as I dismiss what she politely lacks in softness at the bedside. I've made a match with her in my mind. Spread over butcher cloth, draped on blue vinyl, the gel is warm on my too empty bladder. A Doppler draws a map of where my babies once lived. As brown spots multiply like rabbits on my arms, I am holding on so slowly to the dim lit wall of concrete dressed with a sink plunges into the wand inducer of come what may of my symptoms. I am at the will of what I have eaten. At the will of what free radicals will do at best. My doctor says to lose the weight of a short-waisted jeans. I am a child and she is a book. I am trying to read her expressions through the feedback, which is pulsing in place, like the whooshing of 1,000 floods. 2 weeks before the towers fell, we buried our 3rd son in autumn as souls snap the skeletons of leaves underfoot as snakes beget the news of my fear of being mistaken someone younger or my mother. Pearls etched in grief's fingertips. An empty room on a maternity ward as mothers bathe their babies. I'm far too old for crying out loud. The nurse has a grandchild, and I've willed myself to the loneliness, willed myself to the separate sacks of now grown men. I am a mother in a crowded room, a bladed ablating my comforting wound as a needle pulls back blood, decimaled and small enough to mull its way through the hardest yet of years. All right, I'm a fan of shorter poems, so like I can say them all in one breath, maybe. I'm not gonna try. All right, this one. I talked to my son with the questions my mother would ask. Every night, I prayed for you, and you didn't. No, I worried. Marble jaws tease bubbles out while the screen hits it home for the series. I know there are things that your eyes have seen and how a body can sink by the hour. Tonight, I dreamt. House mouse neatly pinned between the lip of another season. What evades the present becomes the regret of our future. Please stay long enough to find this out. All right. People think they know you, but they don't. I've been working on titles so hard this year, so hard. So I'm just gonna give it up to myself for like my titles, if you're not going to. I'm just teasing. Okay, all right. That's all I got. All right. For self-promotion. My mother sends hope through an inbox. We tell each other what we think they need to hear. She remembers me how she wants me. Victorious, like my name got away from her hands once used on the midnight shift to support us cleaning cold, hard urinals of cockeyed men. It is not incidental that I re-chose you, quit the job, and went panic. This morning, our dog nestled in the crick of a riverbed, blanketing a space unmet by words. Okay, I have just a few more short ones. I haven't been watching the time. Am I good?
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah.
Take your time.
Okay, cool. I'll slow down. Okay. I recently met the poet Victoria Ching, and she was signing my book, and she asked what my name was or is, and I told her Victoria, and her next thing she said was, "What are you mistaken for?" And I'm like, I don't know, like Asian. Like when I was young, my children's, I grew up in a real small town, and they were, raised in a really small town, not a lot of diversity. Since I was like about that big, there were like, I could count on my hands how many like diverse people were in my small town, including me. But anyway, so there was a lot of ignorance that happens there. And so the kids thought I was Asian for the longest time. So that's what I said to her, and she's paused and looked at me like, we were misunderstanding one another. And I'm like, oh, you mean which name, Veronica? So that's the title of this poem. I don't know. Veronica, not Asian. She asks what I've been mistaken for. The answer still stuck in my throat. Maraca. Genetic valley shaking dice toward the shadow of a father-long aisle talk me down. I trust the pills to do the work. Polarity is a border, a snow-blitzed winter continent where trees fork the highway tuned, and the viewer's constant mouth as if this question could get any closer to the truth. All right. You're a generous crowd, thank you. All right, I've got two short ones left, and then, and then I'm gonna go sit back down. And what did the money make of you, but louder in a room? A fool for sickness, the loudest, your head darting to the pimpest man at the center of each of us is a mother, right? Control is a paper-thin necrosis, loose leaf fallen from an oak. I wish you could see what the camera does not spend a time accounting for. A man filling his mouth with the good old days like a boy unsaved at the cost of making his father proud. I'm a mockery of my mother's beliefs, a fine line spun web, robust in its glory days, the ransom of pennywise change. All right. All right, I'll leave you with this one. This one was called Wasn't Quite a Bluebird. The spine has a memory like a pinprick, a coddled mood, certain it might last forever inside moments of dew-dropped colonies, each tear a dilation of little earths. How intimate the moment of a mother with a wailing and a howling at her side. I am myself, thanking God for this one moment of light, holding a new day with her child in soft offering, a way to see outside my own suffering and lack, that I might consider what the night says when asked for a sign from the grave of a swallow with its own anchors down to show me that there is more than a bridge on which a bird which is not blue becomes something greater than a ledge. Thank you.
I know what you're thinking, and no, I'm not Dralandra. But in the way things go as curations of shows go, all of our original features had to be canceled for tonight. So we are going to pivot because that is what you do. But prior to doing that, I just want to remind people that us Cracked Walnut folk have 2 books for sale. One is an anthology from Poets and Pints specifically. This is people who were on the show in the first 2 years, which would be February of 2015 through January of 17. So that's called The Stuff That Was Said. Somebody asked me, you named that, didn't you, Tony? I was like, yeah, that was me. And the second one is Rewilding Hope, which is an anthology for people. These are all the people in here have been at a Cracked Walnut event. In other words, participated in a Cracked Walnut event in the last 2-3 years. So this first book is 15, this is 10, and you should buy them both because you're supporting Cracked Walnut and the League of Minnesota Poets when you do. So without further ado, I'm going to bring Dralandra to stage to be a poet for just a short while. Then she's going to go back to being host. It's going to be weird, but you're going to all adapt. Dralandra can be found all over town doing literary events and whatnot. So keep your eyes open, keep your ears open, and everybody put your hands together for Dralandra Larkins.
Hey y'all, it's me again. Performing. I'm going to perform 3 pieces. So the first piece, I'm going to perform is from the Cracked Walnut anthology, that Rewilding Hope book that you just saw. I had the pleasure of being an editor for the book this year, so it was a really great, thank you, a great learning experience. So this first piece is called Coils, My Crown is My Garden. Are y'all familiar with the Crown Act? Raise your hand if you are, the Crown Act. Okay, so the Crown Act is a law that prohibits hair discrimination, specifically African American or Afro-textured hair and curly hair in professional settings and in the workplace. So this poem is a response to that law. Remember when India R.E. sung, "Don't need your silicone, I prefer my own, what God gave me is just fine." My kinks and coils don't need to be defined, sleeked, nor greased. My afro grows and flows up and outwardly, stretching the laws of science, defying gravity. I am magical, yeah. And the world lives inside me. My hair reflects God's nature, like the texture of thick bark on trees. Just hydrate my strands with rain, castor oil, cocoa butter, and baby, I smell like a sweet honeybee. My 4C is lovely because they're phenomenally made beautiful. I was kissed by the king who nourished my roots in holy water down to the cuticle, the follicle. My crown is my garden. And each seed that I plant, the coil blossoms strong and abundantly. Beyond the white soil of embedded conditioning, we were taught to think that nappy is dreadful, to feel ashamed of 4C hair that can't be contained with their bobby pins. And so our sister locks don't bend to Western beauty conformity. As we would bail like Angela and march for peace, our curls and coils be dancing in the wind so boldly and free. Our magnificent hair was created to wander and to stare and orbit, stardust, and black infinity for all to see that the standard is kinky, it's coily, don't need your silicone. I prefer my own, but God gave me it just fine. So I sing the song like India Ari, because I am and will be naturally me. What was that?
Please sound like yourself.
This second piece is called Earth's Plea. So this is a new piece that I've been working on. I've been trying to write an eco poem. I've never written an eco poem before, but it's something that I've been trying to explore and explore structures and forms with poetry. So this is a practice poem. It's not complete, so don't judge me, but here it is. When I was 5, I used to watch monarch butterflies light up in night skies like the moon. Species complement Earth so perfectly. We fail to protect nature as we face so many environmental adversities. Our glaciers are melting like popsicles on a sunny day as the extinction of wildlife continues to decay. Corporate corruption and careless destruction. We're living in times where truth and lies stand on the same line. You turn on your TV and scroll through your news feed, the news doesn't feed your mind. In fact, it makes us desensitized and blind to reality. We believe the fallacy and argue with facts. We don't want to learn, so we refuse to act. We got war zones, illnesses, and disasters. You borrowing wisdom from social media and looking up to the masses while real leaders remain absent. So where are the advocates? When Earth is being destroyed with plastic, this is Earth's pleas for resurrection. To heal, feel nature's plea for her survival lies our destiny. Built upon soil where seeds of peace break free and grow into an orchard of love, of kindness, where people stop their guns, stop their triggers, and practice mindfulness. So take a deep breath and close your eyes. Kiss the skies. Because when you turn off the TV, you find true connection when you disconnect the Wi-Fi. I believe that we're all the missing link. And in order to paint a better Earth, we must change the way we live, what we eat, and how we think. So take down your towers of despair and show Earth gratitude for breath, for life, for air. Okay, my last piece here. I always like to end my performances with this poem. It's an affirmation poem, and it's called A Letter to Love Yourself. And I think that this is a message that can benefit anyone at any time. So that's why I always like to wrap up my performances with this one. Love yourself. Do not believe society's concept of beauty, because truly, you are a masterpiece. Created by the master God, you are beautiful. You're skin and bone human, you're not made of metaphors. but your strength is fire. It's never ending, it doesn't burn out. Let no one hold your power. You're the queen, king of your tower. Breathe. So you found the strength to keep going. So hold on just a little longer. What doesn't kill you makes you a conqueror. So you got to be brave. David, conquer your Goliath and slay. Just love yourself. Nah, I'm not talking about you buy a new pair of shoes with your fresh paper cuts or your brows on fleek, edges sleek, so you shared a tweet and now you're feeling yourself. I'm talking about heal yourself from the roots of your core. Because if you won't acknowledge who you truly are, then what is your purpose for? So this is to society that made you feel like your Black is not a boastful believer. And this is to society that made you feel unsatisfied with the skin that you're in. Fall in love with your imperfections, skin, smile, face, collarbones. You are a blessing, and don't second guess this, because I absolutely and definitely, wholeheartedly love me unconditionally. Do not believe society's concept of beauty, because truly you are a masterpiece. Thank you.
Yeah. Keep it going, Dralandra. She's gonna do one more.
Our next poet
Sure.
is Lora Robinson. Give me 1 second as I pull up her bio. Lora is a poet and essayist from the East Coast. She's a poetry reader from Cobra Milk and an alumni of Art Farm, Nebraska, and the May 2023 Interloops Authors Corner featured writer. Her work has appeared or in the forthcoming in Concision, The Meadow, The Shore, The West Review, Halligan, and the San Pedro River Review, among others. Her first collection, An Essential Melancholy, is available now through Akingano Press. Lora Robinson.
Hey guys. How's it going? Okay. It doesn't go any higher.
It does. I have one job. No.
Gosh,
Oh, that doesn't go. No, this does though.
Thank you, Tony.
You're
Thanks,
welcome.
Tony. I did my first reading in the Twin Cities here, so.
You're doing your latest one here as well.
Yeah. I'll be starting with some poems from my first collection, which I also launched here last year. So Poets and Pints has a very special place in my heart. And then I will move on to some newer work, so I don't zap all of your serotonin. My first collection is about my experience surviving domestic violence, which I thought was apt to present here because October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and it affects all of us regardless of race, gender, socioeconomic status. So I'm going to read selections from a poem I've actually never read before. So it's called The Persistence of Violence. 1. You've been here before, buried comrades where they fell, smithereen to glass castles, to kingdom come, treaded water while the seam reclaimed what it was owed. 2, 3, I know how to count, but I'm skipping through. 3, on another night in August, hands wrung and shook and clapped as you were rocked and pulled into full existence, angry to be woken up, flushed beat stubborn and alive. 4, once in a Lynchian sandbox, those hands belonged to you, snatching teetering ghosts from the brink and gray. 5, step off the carousel. How many times more must the sunken scene spin by? 7, you fade into the skyline like chipped paint. What was once your spine is a crumbling water tower, is the desert highway and scattered roadkill. You are cotton crammed in pill bottles, chalky, smeared with rain. You cannot touch her.
You don't have hands anymore. This next one is one I've only ever read once before, and apparently it's a good one, so I thought I'd roll it out again. It's called Insert Punchline or Fresh. I'm not Kanye fresh, overpressed atelier fresh, just cucumbers in my water, rose petals in the bath fresh. Grapefruit halves at breakfast, sugar scraped over my peel, you spoon me out like pink pulp fresh. I'm not lemon in your tea, honey in your coffee, fast talking, slow walking, toothpick between canines fresh. Just pearl handled, bolt actioned, ruby on my lip, sapphires on my hip, inventing new ways to wear your gems fresh. I'm not farm to table fresh, Lulu bitch from the co-op fresh, just devilish in a new dress, holding every suit and still calling fresh. More like vinegar with the wash. Damn girl, it's a white ass tea. Could even get a blood stain out fresh. That affirmation poem really has me feeling myself, so thank you. I have 2 covers for my book. 3 reasons. 1, I'm an indecisive millennial. It's true. 2, this artist is from Minneapolis. This artist is from the East Coast, so it kind of represented where I was when I wrote both collections. And then the 3rd reason is that they represent my internal, external landscapes. So we're gonna switch it over. Demeter kills Persephone. It was me. I fed her the jeweled seeds, watched her pale hands crumble and skim the stalks of wheat behind my eyes, heard her scream my own scream while she dragged me to the river. The sticks ran red and red and red, impossibly saturated, wrinkling dark, blooming ruby tracks of hellebore, canna, spider lilies. I used to pluck her petals from my own tributaries, wait for spring before I'd stop again. Summer shuddered early that year. The God King harvested my body, banished my daughter to the bed of his brother in hell. I shucked the corn silk of my head for something red, red, red. Okay, last one from this collection. It's called The Return of Spring. Maybe one day I will stop smoking, put down the Shiraz, stop raising every man who ever cried beautiful to my lips. Maybe one day I will stop reaching into the cedar chest and rummaging around for you like a favorite jacket, and I can finally hear about the others. How I was not first choice, but the last standing, and isn't that what really matters? Because don't we love survivors the most? Maybe one day I will leave all this behind, stop checking for scorpions in my shoes, and bleach out this natural stain. Maybe one day, when love is no longer something I have to survive, I will tell you, you were never something I wanted to get over with. I grew my hair so there was more of me to fill your hands. I spun yarn balls with poems so I could sleep under your tongue. I glued shut the butterfly rib cage you cracked open and rocked the spilled organs back to sleep. How am I doing on time? Good? Okay, cool. I'm going to switch gears to a few poems from a current collection in progress titled The Architecture of Fire. And the poems in this collection serve as a facsimile of fire itself, just the careful placements and structures necessary for fire to take hold, and the feelings reconciled through them, love, ardor, codependency, near obsession, are as stifling and consuming as the fire itself. So, less depressing is what I'm saying. This one's called Contractions. My printer was also not working. I wrote mine out. Hopefully I can read whatever. Contractions. I'm thinking of mouths the thick filament of tongues pulled closer by sharp inhalation, spinal fulcrums, the gravity of failed vocabulary. I'm thinking of mustaches, goldenrod, the origins of contractions, the way love pours me out and crushes me like an empty can. I'm thinking of his ass in bike shorts, coarse palms, river weather, his silver and slurry twang after 3 Jack and Gingers. I'm thinking of acceleration, fictitious force, the necessary turbulence for valley fog, the abode of our shifting topographies. I'm thinking of the way he tides my body, the brackish melt in his full moon hands, fog rolling, push, pull, pulsing. I don't want you to go. I don't want you to stay. The second one from this collection is called Flame for an Unlit Candle, and it has an epigraph. Someone will remember us, I say, even in another time. And that is Sappho, fragment 147. My first loss came at 15. My grandpa, a series of heart attacks, the belated revelation that he stayed alive longer than the doctors could medically logic away. The week before he passed, he planted precisely 100 daffodil bulbs. They bloomed on his death day, that audacity of life in the season's first snow. I wanted to be good. I wanted to never wonder if it was too late to start praying. They bloomed in this way for a decade, jonquil attendance to my grandma's grief, that 49 and a half years can't be alchemized into 50. Grandma followed him, gone ghost by dementia and strokes. She forgot, by the end, a final and slender commonality, even me. Mom called that night, said, at least she's with Papa now. And I did not understand how that elastic pole could fray and stretch, but never snap. Until we kissed in front of the Caravaggio, until we danced in my living room to a Tina Turner cover, my heart on fire, until the first time you held my face after making love. I want to be good. I pray to sinew and stamen, to a brazen consort, tender-bodied bloom of you. Okay, I'm going to close with 2 poems from a current project. Victoria, I'm also terrible with titles, so my poems always have multiple working titles, as do the project. So this current project has 2 titles. It is Good Catholic Boy / Get Me to a Nunnery. Yes. It's part breakup album, part criticism of Catholicism and toxic masculinity and narcissism, and part analysis of the human tendency to worship from an atheist perspective, and how it all makes me want to swear off men. Working title is Cognitive Dissonance. I tell myself 3 stories. 1, this is something that is never over, but constantly restarting, like the sputtering of your old truck's cast iron engine, turning over and over, surprising even us. 2, I've always been dead, a once charming ghost, a haunting you banished after selling all your mirrors, the disappointing reality of a spooky lover. 3, I made you up entirely, a buck sentient antler scrape, a sack of broken dishes, the book I read cover to cover and never opened again. So the last one's called Breakage. I think it's funny, so do what you want with that information. Okay, Breakage. I binge watch Intervention. Is that an addiction? The only cosmic irony is that the stars die long before they can hear us compliment their glittering gowns. someone remastered the Exploding Whale video for its golden anniversary. So shouldn't I be able to find a Scorpio boyfriend on Bumble? I love scorpions so much, I might as well marry one. The most attractive trait in a man is finding me attractive. The second most is insincerity. My good Catholic boy disdained my mental illness, my favorite movie, the way I worshipped the moon instead of his cock. I resented the way he piled the laundry next to the basket, brewed the coffee sour, cast me as a blank-faced final girl, mouth sewn shut in his emotional pornos. Now playing, pretty blonde with daddy issues gets fucked by a balding narcissist. You won't believe what happens next.
All right, so yes, you're seeing me a lot more than I thought you would tonight. But with good reason. So if you're new here, and if you're not, you probably noticed that we have these little groovy cards on the table. These little groovy cards on the back have a link to a survey. If you would like to be a featured poet on this stage, all you have to do is fill out the survey. There's no audition process. There's no anything but sort of just waiting in line, really. So please fill it out and be on the show. Speaking of the show, that was gravity. We are a nonprofit. We're part of the League of Minnesota Poets, so we live off of donations. It is a free show. You are not required to put anything in this box. But if you can, please put some money in the box because we use it to promote our programs across town and across the state. So please put in money if you can. If you can't, otherwise we're going to take a 10-minute-ish break, and then we're going to come back, and Dralandra's going to take us through the open mic. And I'm going to bring your water to you, Laura. No, I just forgot.
No, you're good. You're good.
I am a forgetter.
You're just fine, Toby. You're doing great. Hi. How y'all doing? Doing good? Okay. Good to hear it. My name's Micah. I am the secretary of Cracked Walnut, and I am the event planner for this entire festival. So it's been great to have you guys out. Thank you. Thanks for coming. I just want to remind everyone that the festival is not over until next week. And actually, Hal, who's back there, you want to wave? Yeah. Hal and I are reading next week. The details are up on our website. So if you haven't been to the Cracked Walnut website, there will be a festival tab, more details there. And if you're not involved with Cracked Walnut, you want to, come chat with me and we'll plug you in somewhere. Okay? Awesome. And without further ado, Dralandra. Awesome.
Hey y'all, thanks so much for hanging out with us this far. We're gonna get into the open mic portion. I have a list of 13, so could someone please guess a number between 13? Okay, Alley Cat.
Outside. Also, let's go outside. She's still outside. Just call.
Okay.
The alley cat is outside.
Okay, what about 1 through 12? Lynn, are you here, Lynn?
Yeah.
How long do I have? 2 minutes. To do one poem.
Howdy. Okay. I'm going to oh god, I don't have a name. This is untitled. Okay. What am I doing here is not only a question to be asked at 3 a.m. An opportunity to grasp a reflection of the Big Bang. We'll always find new ways to reinvent dead matter. Now then, what if we stared into that curiosity, greeting the crown at its feet and admiring the wink of sharp teeth, using our breath to restore the second wind of life, revealing all we can't see through the lens of time. If you envision it, it's not impossible. Mind is everything, our feelings forming teachers. We are all united in the middle of the crossroads. There, we experience the existence of what could be, what already is, a pure moment's bliss. Truth unfiltered. Okay.
One more time for Lynn, please. Okay, a number between 1 and 12.
10.
King October. Clap them all the way up to the stage.
I'm trying to clap you to the stage, but you're walking like you're old. All right, everybody else stop clapping.
Hi everybody, how you guys doing?
Good.
All right, my name is King October. I'm a poet. I represent Mac House, artist company. I'm here to speak with you called Solar Powered. All right, brief artist statement. So this piece is basically me embodying the idea of me being a sun, and that each ray of light has a type of reach. But each type of light I'm giving to you is an excerpt from a piece that has a message to it in itself. Please enjoy. I was told to breathe and then speak. So now I breathe and then I speak. See, I was told I was solar powered. I mean, enormous amounts of energy that had to be released or else it would kill me. See, my passion burns 1 billion degrees. Giving light to the darkness that harbor the fallen. See, the blessings keep stalling, but see, I can hear them calling. So I breathe, and then I speak. Because I was told to breathe, and then I speak. See, I release radioactive heat waves that God gave to raise those who lay in graves. I'm just here to save street slaves that ain't brave of my face. That's been misguided and bonded and blinded by the streets. Be reminded, looking for hope that is confined in me. I was told to breathe and then speak. So now I breathe and I speak. See, I could be the next Maul, the lyrical father, so why bother trying to deny me? I am a spiritual individual. Blessed biblical verses that we heard, reverse people's bad actions. See, I have always been here. Sin's greatest fear, God's tears. See, I was told to breathe and then speak. So now I breathe and I speak. I just want you to see through my pain and all the things stopping you from seeing me as a king. See, Daddy's love is here, so had no fear. I'm not going nowhere, nowhere. I know sometimes it get rough. I know my time has been up, but don't you give up on me. Don't you give up on me. I was told to breathe and then speak. So now I breathe and then I speak. This is your world, your world, your world. If you wake up, you could be my girl, my girl, my girl. And then we can build us a world, a world, a world. Where all the queens knew they were once a golden girl. I promise it'll be alright as long as you continue to fight. Remember, this is your life, and no one can put a price on you, girl. I was told to breathe and then speak. So now I breathe and I speak. Why won't you fight for this? We already died for this. I swear we could ride for this. On me, on me. They have killed us in ways that we are now silent today. I have seen black brave. I have seen black faith. So why won't you fight for this? We already died for this. I swear I would ride for this. On me, on me. See, this is pain chased with joy. For baby boy and baby girl, they will remember your name. 'Cause your life is in the rain. And what else can I say? I brought the storms when I came. So why won't you fight for this? I already died for this. I swear I'm gonna ride for this. On me, on me. I was told to breathe and then speak. So now I breathe and I speak. Peace.
In October. another number, please, between 1 and 10. 2? Oh, Tony! Welcome, Tony, to the next.
Go to another person.
Okay. All right, 1 and 9. 9. Poetic Mama. Are you here, Poetic Mama? Woo! Clap her up to the stage, please.
Hey y'all.
Hey.
So full transparency, I have like social anxiety. So shout out to the people with social anxiety. Poetry has really helped me be a transparent person. So full transparency, yesterday I had a full-blown breakdown. It's really hard being a single mom. And so I wrote this yesterday. Do you guys mind if I read this? I've never read it out loud. Bear with me if I mess up, okay? Okay. It doesn't have a name yet. There's no such thing as days off when you're a mother. There's no such thing as I can't because you have to, or mistakes because you're expected to. Get up and do the way mommy shark's supposed to. There's no such thing as failure when your baby's counting on you, or breaks because your family's gonna be right there watching you cry your fucking eyes out right next to your child saying, you wasn't crying when you was laying on your back, or you got this. Well, truth is, I fucking don't. When the truth is, I wasn't on my back, I was tooted up on all fours, hands and knees. That was the last time my bed gave me some relief. And even though I conceived 9 months later, somehow life keeps fucking me. Mothers don't get sleep. But when we dream of our child's needs being met, praising God for our silent victories, like managing to pay your rent when your check is short because your baby was sick, so you missed some work. And even though rent's paid, there's not much for groceries, so you pick up shift while your child cries, where's mommy? There's not enough hours in the day or enough sun after the rain, but somehow we manage to get up every single day and do it again and again and again and again. We suffer many losses for the smallest wins. Thank you, guys.
Poetic Mama, y'all. Okay, our number game. A number between 1 and 9 again. 8. Matt Hagel, or if I'm saying that correctly. Matt. Hey, Matt.
Sure. Bagel, bottle, just depends. I don't know. I've had a lot of good people up here tonight.
Right?
Yeah. It's fucking intimidating.
You're doing it though. You're doing it.
All right. Can you forget who you are, used to be, want to become? Will you dance in the sun, under the moon, and through the dust? Hell and heaven hold hands in the graveyard of gods and monsters, and all the stars above you will fade. But this night is young, and I honor no curfew. Come dance with me.
Give a clapping for Matt, please. Okay, anyone have a number between 1 and 8? 8? 1? 1. Okay, Joey, are you here?
Shout out to King October. I'm not going to use a mic either. I'm pretty loud. Sometimes when I go to start, Tony goes over and turns the volume down on the mic real quick. So I'll save him that library. I moved to the Twin Cities 1 year and 3 days ago. And this was the first stage that I stepped on anywhere around here. And now it's the last one as well currently, until I get on another one. This is more thematic for next month, but it's the thing that popped in my head right now. This is the story of the last Thanksgiving that happened to me. It wasn't last year. Dinner's served. There's a body in the corner. There ain't no kitchen at the hospice. We ain't sneaking off alone to get stoned with the cousins. I was wishing I was alone, but I wasn't. Thanksgiving got cursed all of a sudden. God damn. Grandmama said we had to get together. I didn't understand, just appreciated the effort. So we threw a little Thanksgiving feast at the hospice. Bodies in the corner. Ignore it. Everything's normal. Okay. Sweet potatoes are served. We're cutting the ham soon. Please excuse the oxygen pump shoved in the bathroom. Got it. Grandmama wants the memories preserved, so she had her old friend with a camera come make sure. Click flash. Sister crying over body. Great picture. Shit's mad weird. Pass the mashed potatoes. Why ain't Dad here? Pickle Rick tattooed on my brother's calf. Remember, there's a body in the corner. Don't think about it.
One more time, please. Okay, anyone have a number between 1 and 8 again? 5. Patrick Cabello. Come all the way up to the stage, please.
So this is a poem from my new book that's coming out next month. It actually comes out November 24th. It's called Breathing in Minneapolis. And it's about the last couple of years in Minneapolis. And I just realized it comes out the day after Thanksgiving when no one wants to go to a poetry reading and smell turkey farts and see people falling asleep from having eaten too much. So this is after a poem by Jose Luis Peixoto, and it's called Unforgiven, I Wake to a Burning City, Minneapolis, May 28, 2020. Unforgiven, I wake to a burning city and walk tenderly on the limbs of ghosts. I reach Lake Street as she scrambles to pick up scraps of her nightdress, glass, aluminum door frames, old wood, the stares of shop owners who've lost everything. No one breathes in my city today. The air burnt empty by nights of tear gas, rubber bullets and slogans, 150 buildings set afire. I pick up pieces of junk, first with my eyes and then my fingers, useless prayers that must be done. No bells ring because time has been abandoned, and the child who walks alone inside me does not know where to find peace or if he should. Thank you.
One more time with Patrick, please. Thank you, Patrick. Okay, a number between 1 and 7.
Could you make that 1 through 8?
What was that?
Could you make that 1 through 8?
I already went up.
Are you?
7.
Okay. Bethany May.
Okay, this is a really old poem of mine, but I'm gonna read it. It's called Birds. From whence did I come? One day, I flew upon a pair of yellow wings. I ran into a color and it crinkled with delight. One day, one flew over the ocean. A turquoise abyss sparkled beneath the warmth of the sun. Diamonds floating along each crested wave. One flap of wings, and the bird's gone. I blink, and the light is gone now too. One day, one flew to Jupiter, spiraling against thunderstorms. Each moment opened a wormhole, distracting from the current. Beyond yurts, beyond red rocks, which turned to fire in twilight, one day, A jolted door slams shut, and desire hisses intangibly, making way to avoid. A boundless nothing illimitable. One day one flew. One day one flew, one day one flew, one day one flew. He flew, who flew. One day one flew. He flew one day from a sparrow. The sparrow, he flew one sparrow. He flew, who flew, the sparrow flew. One day. What if they are all birds? What if I am a bird? What if we are all birds who cannot be captured? Not in the sky, not above the trees, not on land or in the ocean blue. Fish and birds cannot live together. But does love need a home? One day one flew. Deja vu, one day one flew. Control your freedom. It's lonely in the cold. Chilling your bones, charred from the fire. It's always dark when you're blinking. Where is north when up is left? How can words carry such weight when they are spoken lightly? Now birds circle my head on this bright and colorful morning, just like one day one flew. Who flew? One day he flew just like you.
Thank you, Bethany. One more time, please. Anyone have a number between 1 and 6? What was it? 8? 8? Okay. Allie Cat.
Hello.
Hello.
I suppose I'm 8.
Hi.
Thank you. This is a working poem I recently wrote titled Birthright. She awoke in a haze, drifting boundlessly, returning to her birthing place at the mouth of a river where cool waters run. A trickling not entirely forlorn, meandering through thicket and thorn. She sings for home, to dance from the run, to bathe in the smooth, shimmering reflection of sun where the river passes through, pouring you out only to refill you. She returns to the place cool waters run, to ease away what was and welcome what's to come. And as she dances, she bends to the mountains. She draws in the forest. She moves closer to the warmth of a sunny day, of a burning bush, of a glorious rage. And she's undone at the stroke of heat, steam rising from the flames, gasping for air, deranged. And yet her rhythm never breaks. She finds solitude in the mystical place where fire yearns for water to evaporate so they can both fly. A new compound created, unwilling to be separated, and she finds it is within this realm where she is truly emancipated.
Thank you so much. All right, anyone have a number? 3, okay. Stevie, come on up. Stevie?
Yeah, I'm
No?
4 though, baby. You should know that.
Steve?
I'm Stephen the 4th.
Stevie the 4th. Stevie the 4th, come on up.
So, good evening. I like to come performance ready normally, but I've been on the grind super hard lately, so you're gonna have to bear with me a little bit. They like to say that there's no rest for the wicked, but it's even less for those of us blessed with enough love in our hearts to shove these weights above our chests. I'm just saying, man. So let me just read a little something for you guys. Who? Me? I am. I'm not scared. I know my way home. Believe that shit. I am. I am the spirit of the songs of your youth, saved for sacred in the recesses of your mind. I am here to come to recall those indestructible fuzzies and blow them about as wishes in the wind. The dance hall butterfly in the breeze. Over these here dances, frills, and friends. Holding the seeds of memories warm and so sweet they can't help but to bloom into the uncaring passion of young and dancing feet, fumbling so beautifully with no reserve across old melodies, nearly forgotten but never fucking lost. Holding their scent in your subconscious, waiting simply to call you back. Back to when music inspired you to move into the moments, untethered, unabashed, towards a future unknown but bound to be reached. With friends in the making, symbiotically taking bold acts of venture and the daring chance of vulnerability that make the magic of connection not only possible, but fucking inevitable. Look around. We all hope to be seen and cherished. So, look, be seen, find another. Today, those fumbling feet may stumble into a future of magic, where even walking, we soar. Yes, I am. I'm the spirit of the songs of your youth, now back and asking, who's gonna dance?
One more time for Stevie, please. Anyone have a number?
Just single.
Single? Mike Dean. Welcome, Michael.
Halloween's coming up, right?
Right?
Well, can you hear me better this way? It's a true story. It's about a funeral. My grandma told me a story. The story was about a funeral. It was a home funeral. It was back in the old days when few people had cars, when people made do with what they had. On the first floor, this home had a front room, a dining room, a kitchen, and a sewing room. In the old days, people made do with what they had. Some neighbors and family were there. A funeral for a baby is especially sad. I wasn't told how the baby died, but Grandma told as to how she had cleaned the body, how she had combed its hair, closed its eyes, adorned it with white lace, how she had carried the body to the sewing room, how she placed the body in the coffin having been laid there on a sofa. Then Grandma told about how, when folks were busy grieving, greeting, and dining, She went in to see the baby. To her horror, Grandma said, a cat was eating its head. Thank you.
Thanks, Michael. All right, anyone have a number for me? All right, Tony.
Did I call my own number? Yes, I did. Do I feel shame? No, and that's what this poem's about. This poem is about this microphone stand. No, it's about how I can't stand when artists are humble about their work. If you're going to go through the trouble of making art, and this looks like we shoved a pole up somebody's ass. Anyway, here we go. It's called A Small Amount of Humility, and it's in this book that you can buy. Nice. Starts with a quote. True humility is not thinking less of yourself, it's thinking of yourself less, by C.S. Lewis. The clock is ticking. The noise should be constant. It should hit the beat all the time, but it's tick, tick, tick. Then it's tick, 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 and suddenly your heartbeat no longer lines up. You feel as though you're dying by the second or the half second. It really depends on when that tick happens. But feeling death or thoughts of dying is what we do after 40. We balance whether or not this cheeseburger is worth the extra 30 minutes it's probably taking. It is, by the way. In my last 30 minutes, I will be remembering all the great food and forgotten meals consumed in front of the television. People in life encourage humility. They tell you, be humble in sports, for it's only a game. They tell you, be humble to your family, for they are the ones who will love you, whether or not you ever improve. They tell you, be humble before God, because I'm not really sure, and also fuck that. When I die, I want people to be so shocked that they shut down like a soldier who developed PTSD as a child. When I die, I want there to be a service so grand that people wish they could have had an invite. When I die, I want it to create a hole so big that physics can't fill it. I want everything I've ever written to be read again to children, even the fuck words, because you should only trust people who curse. And I want my stuff to have a presence on eBay. And I want a fireworks ceremony so I can scare the shit out of my cats one last time. And I want to be the character that everyone is pissed is gone next season. Look, I want a memorial bench so that now I can support you. I know that I haven't always. Look, when all we're given is a murderous teacher named time, when all we have is what we leave behind, it shouldn't surprise you that I want some immortality. Who's selling it? Where can I buy it? You want to be loved in life. I want to be loved eternally. I want you to remember me smiling and then laughing so hard that I make zero noise. I want you to remember how blue my eyes were when the sun finally came out. And I want that clock to hit the seconds like it's supposed to every single time. My heart doesn't like the spaces. I want everybody to put their hands together for Dralandra Larkins. We are out of time. We are out of time. That's why I'm bringing her up. Keep going. Keep going. She worked very hard on this show. This has been Poets and Pints number 101? 101. Yes. Poets and Pints number 101. I thank you so much for coming. We'll be here November 15th for the next show. Joey's going to be on the show, right? Yeah. Yes. And I know Also, off the top of my head, we'll have Ollie Schmenke here. So be here because they are amazing as well. You have anything to add to the show before we close out?
No, I just want to say thank you for all our featured performers and thank you to the audience for coming out and make it home safely.
Yes, especially the featured performers who are here tonight, because the ones that were here tonight covered our ass for the ones that didn't show.
Yep.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank y'all.
Good night, and please put your glasses in the tray or on the bar. And please, if you could, collapse those table tents, turn off your candles, and put them on the bar.